So you might have seen the news, Neural DSP released CorOS 3.2 for the Quad Cortex, and there's some really solid updates in that release, but one of the key things is there's new plugin compatibility, and one of those is the Nolly X. And it's a plugin that I happen to own, so I figured let's dive into how it sounds on the Quad Cortex and check it out. So first, let's check out what's available in the Nolly X plugin. We've got 4 amps. I've got all the amps added to this preset, so we're out of CPU. We can't add any more. That's why these are kind of unhighlighted. We've got 4 cabs, a set of mono and a set of stereo. We've got 2 overdrives. We've got 2 delays. We've got a reverb, a compressor, and a graphic 9 EQ. So let's go ahead and jump into hearing how the amps sound. Just jumping here real quick to remind you, please hit the like button. Please leave a comment. Those things really help small channels like mine. If you like these kind of videos, consider subscribing. And if you're considering buying a Quad Cortex, there is a Sweetwater affiliate link in the description below. The clean amp is modeled after a Bogner Shiva, and it's super pure clean amp, and it sounds pretty full and thick. We've got different cabs that go with it. This one maybe has a little more top end to it. Whereas the second one, I think, gives a little more fullness. I think they both sound good. I've been going with cab 2 for the clean tone, just for that kind of bigger, fuller sound. As you can hear, I also have the delay and the reverb on. So let's hear what that sounds like. I'm going to turn off the delay for now. The reverb, the controls are pretty simple, but it's a very nice sounding reverb. I like it a lot. It's a little more reverb than I would typically use, but it sounds really good. I'm going to put it back down to 25%, which is where I got it. And then for the delay, I'm using delay 2, which is a stereo delay, and it also gives you a little bit of modulation to it. The mono delay is pretty much the same. You just don't get the ping pong capability and you don't get the modulation capability. Other than that, I think they sound pretty much the same. So if I turn off the reverb, delay, we'll turn up the mix just a little bit. I've got the mix pretty low. So some nice ambient effects in this plugin. I'm liking them quite a bit. And then you've got a compressor, very straightforward. Really the only thing different is you've got this attack, snappy or smooth. I've been using the smooth. Here's the snappy. It's a subtle difference, but it's nice to have that option. If we move on to the crunch, So this is kind of a Marshall-y sound. But I like that they had a bright switch and a depth control, and so you got a lot of control on it. Have it a little darker because I got the bright switch off if I turn it on. It sounds good both ways. And then for overdrives, I'm not sure what these are modeled after, but the Overdrive 1 is a kind of a lower gain, whereas the Overdrive 2 is more of a higher gain thing. Not super high gain, I'm thinking like OCD kind of gain pedal, where the first one's more of a, maybe of a clonish kind of thing. If we turn that off, we go to the Overdrive 2. So you can see this one has a lot more gain to it, but still stays in that overdrive territory. It's not getting into like a Friedman kind of thing. And then for the rhythm amp, this is, I think, a 5150 kind of amp. So a lot higher gain. So with Cab 3, I mean, that's a nice, it's thick, but it's not super modern. Cab 4 to me is a little more of kind of a modern kind of sound. It's built more for high gain. And then our lead amp, which I believe is modeled after a Victory Jack, or it was the Countess, I believe. So it's actually not quite as high gain as the rhythm amp. The rhythm amp is actually a heavier, gainier amp. But this is a nice one for kind of mid-push, boosted lead kind of thing. So a really nice amp. You can push the gain. And it doesn't get too messy. I really like it. In fact, I'm going to leave it up there. And then here's a version where I'm putting a compressor and the Overdrive 1 in front of the amp. So the components work well together. I don't know. That's the overdrive push lead, and then this is the lead with just the amp gain cranked. So a good range of tones with this plugin. It's interesting. It doesn't have a lot of modulation effects or anything like that. So I think compared to some of the other plugins, it doesn't have a large volume of things to use. But I think what it does have, the quality is pretty good and everything sounds good. And there's a good variation in terms of the amp tones you can get. And I like it quite a bit. So as always, I'll put this preset up on my Cortex Cloud account. The link for that's in the description of the video. Obviously, you need to have purchased the Nolly X plugin in order to use it. But if you're considering the Nolly X plugin, I think there are some really good amp tunes here, and I don't know that you'll be disappointed with it. Anyway, hope you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.